board? Honda.
Motor City, baby.
Oh, Honda. You look tired, Coach. You okay?
I'm all right.
All right.
Game
Good.
Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central Time, ESPN Network, SEC Network. Game Saturday will be on ESPN2. TCU is part of the Big 12 SEC Championship. That coach starts off with a quick statement.
Hopefully we'll have good defensive rebounding stations today in practice and tomorrow before we leave, and go get ready to play Mississippi State.
Eric, you mentioned rebounding. It's no surprise with your all size. You knew rebounding would be a challenge, but you guys did pretty well for most of the year, and then LSU obviously dominated Kentucky, even Ole Miss. Is that just the teams you're playing, their athleticism, their size? And you look at Mississippi State, they're leading the SEC in margin, and I think they're rebounding 40% of their offensive.
Yep.
I mean, how big a challenge is that? And is it realistic that you can close that rebounding margin gap against a team like this?
Yeah, I think when you look at Kentucky, first of all, I think they're one of the 5 most talented teams in the country, and their length causes a lot of problems. LSU's length and athleticism caused problems inside, but we could have won the game at LSU, and certainly could have won the game at Western Kentucky, and so the one game that we didn't play good offensively, obviously. You got to credit Kentucky's defense, but also we were within striking distance. 8 minutes were up, and we've talked about changing the starting lineup and trying to go bigger. Having said that, when you talk to other teams when they're done playing us, we create a lot of problems for other people. Kentucky changed their starting lineup. We've seen that before. So, as much as we know what our deficiency is, I also think that because of that deficiency, we're causing some mismatches as well. And we don't want to lose that aspect of who we are, where we're making other teams adjust to us. We see it during the course of games when teams go smaller. But certainly in this particular game, rebounding's, you can't win games when you lose by 20-some on the glass, and obviously we were hopeful for good reason that Connor was going to be eligible, and that wasn't the case, and so that, kind of changed who we were. And, we're going to have to rebound, Bob.
I mean, realistically, how do you do that against these guys? They got 3 of the top, I think, 10 rebounders in the league, and Reggie Perry's like a double-double average. How were you guys able to rebound? And, you hung in there, the first 12 games, whatever. What was the key to that, and is it realistic to get back to that, or is that just too hard to do against these SEC teams?
No, I mean, I remember sitting at the SEC league meetings, and I sat next to Georgia's head coach, Tom Crean, and he and I have known each other for a long time, and he made the comment. I asked him, what's the difference between the SEC, in his opinion, and the Big Ten and other places that he's coached, like Marquette, and he said, you're going to be amazed at how active rebounders are in this league. I was already in the league, so I knew, but his statement rings true. But it's cost us 2 games for sure. I mean, we lost at LSU because we didn't rebound enough. We didn't close the gap just a little bit. When you lose by 29 on the glass, if you lose that game by 20 on the board, you still win the game. And so, like I said, we are creating mismatches. We're creating extra possessions by winning the turnover battle, meaning we get a little more steals. We take care of the basketball. So I don't think that we've lost what we had rebounding-wise earlier. I just think sometimes it's matchups, Bob. I really do. And the effort, like we go back and watch film, they're playing hard. We have a deficiency as far as size. But we do need our guards. And we're going to talk about it again today relentlessly, about our guards have to rebound. Because look at Kentucky's guards that rebounded. Quigley, 4 offensive rebounds, 10 total rebounds. Hagan, 6 rebounds. Maxey, I think, had 6 rebounds. We got to rebound at the guard spot. And we just can't rely on just one guy because we don't have that one guy that's a dominant rebounder. So we can't have 3 guards on the other team basically out-rebound our whole team. And that's what happened against Kentucky. You look at the number of defensive rebounds that Arkansas had, and you look at Quigley, Maxey, and Hagan's rebounds, it wasn't just Richards and those type guys. I mean, Kentucky guards annihilated us on the glass.
Coach, you've talked in the past about the magic number of threes that you guys need to hit. It's about 10, 11, 12 a game, especially on the road. How important is that you get some perimeter shooting from guys like Desi and Jalen on the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Scotty, if you look at our team and we're not gonna win the rebounding battle, and you're gonna play small, like you've got to make threes. Otherwise, we might as well play 3 bigs at a time. And we've talked about it. Like Adrio right now, believe it or not, is our highest percentage 3-point shooter. And so you sit and ask yourself, if Adrio took 53s, what would his percentage be? I have no idea. But at the beginning of the year, when I looked at our stats from last year, if you would have told me that Adrio would be leading us in 3-point percentage, I would be shocked. But he is. Maybe I need to tell him to take more threes.
Just specifically what a Perry and Weatherspoon and the problems they present.
Yeah, I think when you look at Mississippi State's record, throw it out because, number 0, Witherspoon wasn't there for a lot of the season, and he can score the ball. He has not been shooting the 3 well, but we know historically in his career he's been able to make threes. Really good dribble driver. And then obviously Perry, phenomenal talent, good inside, good outside. 24, Adu's going to, he causes us problems inside. And even their small forward 12, we're worried about him on the glass as well.
Eric, I guess they won their last 2 games by, 20.
Too much, yes.
Yeah, I'm not very good at math, but by more than 25, I know that. Just how good have they played against Missouri and Georgia at home, and now you've got to go in there. How well are they playing? How big a challenge is this for you guys?
When the schedule came out, because Coach Anthony Ruda and I sit around and talk about scheduling all off season, we felt like this was as difficult of a 3-game stretch as we had. Kentucky at home, at Mississippi State, TCU at home. It's a big-time challenge because Mississippi State's playing with a great deal of confidence. They're extremely well coached. They're tough. Their strength is our weakness. It's a road game. And, quite honestly, we got to get over ourselves, me included, meaning we had an incredible environment, and we got to get ready for the next game. I'm a sore loser. I'm not, we haven't lost many games at home. At my prior stop, we hadn't lost a game. At home here, we had what I would consider the best crowd that I've ever been in an arena, and we were not able to win that game. And but we got to figure out a way to regroup and get ready because that game's gone. It's over with, and we got 2 big games this week. But we're concerned. I'm concerned with their margin of victory and how confident they are coming into the game for sure.
Coach, that was kind of my question. What is the protocol? Because you talked about the environment and so much hype going into the Kentucky game. Is this a group that you have to say something to, or is it a mature enough group where they know, hey, it's time to take our show on the road? What is the protocol for moving past Kentucky?
Did we have any players in here before me?
No.
Okay. I don't know how they answered it. No, I think like with your team, you've constantly got to educate. You've constantly got to talk about things for sure. And so, I think we're going to talk about it today. But they're also mature and we've played close. Every game's been, we've been within striking distance in the 3 that we've lost. And that's hard to do. It's hard through this amount of, or whatever, January 20th, whatever. Like, we've been in every single game. And that's hard, and that's what you want to do on the road is you want to compete. You want to give yourself a chance to win, those last couple minutes in the game. And we've been able to do that, on the road. And we want to try to go do that on Wednesday as well.
You mentioned you thought about changing your starting lineup for Kentucky. You mentioned for the season you might change it game to game, but other than the game Mason was hurt, you've kept it pretty consistent. Has that kind of surprised you that you're this far into the season, haven't changed up the lineup much? Yeah, I think every team's different. I've had D-League teams where I changed it up a lot, partially because of call-ups. Meaning a guy gets called up to your NBA parent team or gets called up by another team if he's not on a two-way. And so you naturally have to make changes. I think there's some beauty in consistency, though. Like we know, Kentucky's a top 10 team, but, when I was standing in front of the team, like, I came into the building wanting to win the game and expecting to win, which we do every night. So when you don't win, as a coach or in a leadership position, you constantly, think of, how do I make adjustments, or how do we as a staff make adjustments, or how do we as a group try to make changes for the better. But we still feel like that starting group has given us the best chance. And I also feel like the guys off the bench have kind of got a rhythm now to who they are and when they're coming in the game. And so because of that, we're probably not going to change the starting lineup. We'll probably go with what we've been going with, try to see if other teams adjust to us. And, if we're not successful, then I'll probably second guess myself again and wonder if we should change the lineup.
That's right. So you said were you thinking about starting Reggie and taking, I guess, Desi or somebody out, I guess? Or?
Yeah, I think that, in reality, like, I think about everything. Like, there's, it's you start Reggie and then you go 2 bigs. Do you start Ethan and just see what happens for 2 minutes? Do you start J5 because when J5 comes in, Jalen Harris pushes the ball and we get easier layups? I think about all those things. The best one to consult with's my dog because he just sits there and licks my hand, and everything's cool with Swish. But he's the guy that I like to sit alone with and talk to about these type of things.
So you don't have to worry about Swish telling anybody else what you told him.
I just told you guys everything that's going through my mind, which
if things aren't
that's a problem when I'm this honest. It really is. I should shut up and just give generic answers.
We love honesty. America loves honesty. If things aren't going well early, could you think about going bigger?
We there's been stretches of late where we've gone big, 2 bigs, a 6'6" guy and a 6'7" guy. We've had double big lineups in there. And the thing that's just amazed us is our 5-guard lineup. Probably our best plus minus of late. I don't know about early, but in these games that we've got killed on the glass, the 5-guard lineup has somehow figured out a way to rebound better than any group we've had. So, obviously, when you put 5 guards out there, you open yourself up to more criticism if you're getting killed on the glass. But when we go back and watch and we look at the numbers, that's actually been our most effective in the games where we've gotten killed on the glass.
Let's talk about Connor. How much time have you spent wondering what if he gotten eligible, and how different do you think you guys would be? Because obviously he's kind of, for a big guy, he's kind of an outside player, but obviously he's 7'3", he's going to get some balls that are just going to probably land in his hands. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really look. I mean, you know, look, if you have a guy gets sick or you have a player like Mason was out one game, I think when you coach in the minor leagues, you just roll with it. You know what I mean? So I don't ever look back at all. Don't agree with the decision, like I've said, because I know other guys that are playing this year that didn't have to sit out. Connor's, when we recruited him, thought that, you know, he had as good a case as anyone in the country to be eligible, but, you know, whatever. But he would have changed things for sure because of his size.
And Ben Howland, I remember talking about media days. You guys are both California guys. He said, obviously UCLA had some pro prospects. He said, I guess you used to come to practices or visited him. And just how well do you know Ben and kind of what your all's relationship? What do you think of Ben?
Yeah, I mean, Ben's everywhere he goes, he wins. He's an incredible recruiter. I did go to some of the UCLA practices when he was coaching there because I like to watch his discipline and I like to watch his teams, how they execute. And as a coach, you always would rather go to watch practices than games. We have some mutual friends. I mean, as an opposing coach, I have tremendous respect for what he does. And, you know, it's when you win it, you know, it's one thing when you win at one school, but when you win at multiple schools, you know, like you think about Coach Cal at UMass and Memphis and Kentucky, like that guy's a winner. You think about Ben winning like he has at UCLA, and in reality, you know, he's won more than anybody of recent times at UCLA, and why he's not still there, I'll never know, because he won a lot of games and took them far in the NCAA tournament. And look at what he did at Pitt and NAU, and I mean, he's a heck of a coach. He wins anywhere he goes.
You know, he brought Northern Arizona in here for an NIT game once.
Did not know that.
There's some trivia for you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.